Hi everyone, Slangel back from Slangel Designs, and today is going to be part 2 in this series to do with the teddy bear. So last time we made the head, and if you need to have a review of the materials and what we're using, you can go back and take a peek at that. I will link it in the description, as well as have a little pop-up there on the video here. But just a reminder, I'm using worsted weight yarn and a 4.5 millimeter hook. I'm using a slightly different size hook than it called for in the pattern, just so that you can see it a little better, okay? So today, quick little video. I'm going to show you the next two parts of the bear, which is the ears, and because you need to make two, I've already gone and made one so you can see what it's going to look like, just so I can kind of show you what you're aiming for there. And this is the muzzle, okay? So I'm just going to take my watch off. It keeps clicking against the desk here. So this is the muzzle. And what you're going to notice when we go to put it together, and I have a long tail, is you're going to put a little bit of stuffing in with that. So that's why it kind of looks like a little bit of a bowl. So, but when we go to assemble it, you'll see everything that in more detail as to what we're going to do there. So I don't need two of these, but I'm going to show you how to make one anyway, because no doubt I will need this for a future bear. All right. So let's do the ear first. So this is what it's going to end up looking like, and it does kind of curve, and when you go to sew it onto the bear, you can play around with it and just angle it how you'd like to do it. All right, if you decide, sometimes what I'll do too is just do a little circle and stitch it on, just to make the inside of the ear a little bit different color. But we're going to keep it simple today. So again, the PDF pattern is available as a free download. I am altering it as I get pictures made as I'm going with the tutorial, just so if you need to refer back to pictures and stuff, the pictures will be added. The ones for the ear and the muzzle are already there. So, magic ring. I tried to put some pictures to explain the magic ring, but let's do it again here. You're going to take your yarn, you're going to hold the tail, and you're going to wrap the yarn around so your working yarn goes behind. Usually what you would do for a slip knot is pull through and then tighten it. We're not going to do that. You're going to just kind of let it go loose, and you're going to do a stitch to anchor it. That does not count, okay? When it says to put 6 single crochets in your magic ring, that one doesn't count. So then you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through to make your single crochet. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, don't panic. That's what this tail is for, okay? You can now pull that to close it up. And what I end up doing is using this as my stitch marker. But for today, just so that you guys can see it a little better, I do have the contrasting piece of yarn just so you can see. So once again, this is not done where you join the rounds. It's done in a continuous round, all right? So what that's going to mean is if we pull this forward a little bit, I'm going to, this is pretty long because I had it for the first part there. I'm going to slip that in there just so I know that's where I stopped. So for round 1, it wants us to put 2 single crochet in each stitch around. And you'll notice at the end of the row, it has in brackets 12. That's telling you that you should have 12 stitches at the end of this round. So if you're not sure where to start, just count back 6. 1, 2, these are in the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to start your 2 single crochets in there. So we're going to insert our hook. Can be a little snug. Pull through. So there's 1, 2, and then as you get going, it goes a little quicker. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then the last one, 1, 2. And if you're not sure, just start counting. And I would count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there is 12 there. So then I'm just gonna, if this happens to open up a little bit on you, sometimes it does in the first couple rows, just give it a little tug and it'll close back up. That's the beauty of the magic ring. So that was round 1. So for round 2, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So get it in here. 1, 2, and then just 1 single crochet in the next. And that's our repeat till we get around. So 2 in the stitch, then just 1. 2 in the stitch, and just 1. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and 1, and that should bring us back to the beginning, which it does. If you're unsure, just count your stitches. You should have 18 at this point, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We do. Perfect. So for round 3, bring your marker forward. You're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and you'll notice we're making that circle. This is how you do standard increase of a circle. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 2, and that's the repeat around. So 2 in the next, single crochet in the next 2, 2 single crochets the next, followed by single crocheting in the next 2 stitches, single crochet, 2 in the next stitch, and then single, oh, I'm getting stuck here, single crochet in the next 2, and just keep going until you get to the end of the round, and then I'll show you what to do next. And if you need to, feel free to count your stitches at the end, just to be on the safe side. Never hurts until you're more familiar with it as to what to do. Now, for rounds 4 to 8, super simple. What you're going to do is just single crochet in each stitch around. Now, I will warn you, as you're doing that, it's going to kind of turn into a bit of a, it looks like a cup, okay? Totally normal. Have your good side facing out, and then I'll show you what to do to fasten off. So move your stitch marker up so that you know where you're at for each row. You should have 24 stitches. So as you're going around, at the end of every row, if you're more comfortable, count to make sure you've got 24 every time. So for rounds 4 to 8, do that and meet me back here, and I will show you what to do towards the end, okay? Be right back. Pause your video here and then press play when you're ready. Okay, so we are on round, I'm on the final round, so I'm on round, I just lost my page. I'm on round 8. So I'm coming up to the final part here. So you have done your rows of just single crochet, making sure to keep the proper number of stitches. And as you come up to the end, you are going to, let me see where this is here. Okay. So finish your last single crochet. Oh, it keeps splitting on me. I find some yarn does that. Okay, so then you're going to want to cut a fairly long tail, because that's what you're going to use to sew the ear to the head of the bear, okay? So I'm going to pull out the blue just so you, because you don't really need to see that anymore. I'm just going to trim off what I had been weaving in from when we started our magic ring, because I don't need that anymore. Now, you've got your long tail. You're just going to slip, put your hook into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, and then through the loop on your hook. And you've got your little cup, which becomes your ear. What I want you to do when you go to kind of squeeze this together, like I've said in the pattern, make sure this is on an end of where the ear is going to be, because what I recommend to do, and I'll put this in the assembly instructions, is I recommend you kind of stitching the two sides together back and forth, so that it'll stay, makes it easier for you to attach it to the bear. Okay, so I didn't trim off the first one there. So you'll have your two ears, because when you see here we had the head from before, which isn't stuffed. You'll end up sewing those on kind of like that. I'll have to adjust the camera come the time when we go to sew them on. But that's the two little ears. Okay, super easy. You make your cup and squish them together. But yeah, make sure your tails are long and that they're on the end. So I just, whenever I have all my bear pieces, because we don't stuff them until the end, I just tuck them all on the top of the head. And then that way I keep them all together. So, as mentioned in the materials, I'm gonna just move my lighter color yarn. As mentioned in the materials, you need a contrast color for part of the feet and the muzzle. All right, so I'm using a brown color for my muzzle. So, still using the same size crochet hook. Going to grab that. So you're starting off with the magic ring again. So again, drape it over your fingers, having your loose tail at the towards you. Up and over as if you're going to do the slip stitch, the slip knot, sorry. Bring the yarn up through, just kind of let everything go. Yarn over and pull through to anchors. Does not count as your stitch. Then you're going to do 6 single crochets in that magic ring. So essentially you're starting it the exact same way we've done the last couple parts. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sometimes it can be tricky to hold on to it while you're, then pull that tail to close your circle. Get your stitch marker or use the yarn that was just there from the tail. And then what we're going to do is the 2 single crochets in each stitch around. All right, so again, you have 6 right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you need to count back to see where you need to start. Same process as it was for the ears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I know I have the right number. And again, if it seems a little loose, just give the tail a little tug again. So that's the end of round 1. So round 2, we're going to move our tails up. Our stitch marker, sorry. I'm still using the tail. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first. 1, 2, then just single crochet in the next. Again, growing that circle. Repeat this around. until you get to the end. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and 1. And if you're still a little new to this, I do recommend counting your stitches, okay, as I've mentioned already. And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to also put the link to the single crochet tutorial in case anybody needs a little refresher or some help with that. All right, so we're going to move our stitch marker up. Then for round 3, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 2. And that's the repeat around. So 2 in this one, single crochet in the next 2. 2. And work around till you get to the end there. Let's see, I'm on to the 2. So there's lots of little parts with this bear, but they do come together quite easily at the end, so don't be intimidated by that. Very easy. Some people find the part of stitching it together the hardest. Once you learn a few tricks about how to assemble the bear, it's super easy. Super easy. All right, so we still have 2 more increased rows, okay? So pull your stitch marker up. Then what you're going to do is do 2 single crochet in the next. And single crochet in the next 3. 2 crochets in the single crochets in the next. And then single crochet in the next 3. And if you want to pause the video here and work your way around doing that repeat, and when you get to the end there, just press play again. I'm going to pause and finish my round. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're at the end of round 4. So for round 5, which is our last increased row, we're going to move our stitch markers up. We're going to double crochet or 2 single crochets in the next stitch, single crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 single crochets in the next, and then single crochet in the next 4, and that is our repeat. So if you want to pause the video and work your way around, and I will meet you back at the beginning so that we can do the last 2 rounds together there, okay? So just pause the video and then press play when you're ready. Okay, so we just finished round 5, which was the last of our increases, sorry. So there's only 2 more rounds, which is round 6 to 7. And super simple, you're going to single crochet in each stitch around. And this is going to make the little curve to the muzzle. So it's not going to give you like a big old size cup, but it will cause it to curl a little bit. And you want to make sure when it does curl that the good side is facing out so that you're getting a nice looking muzzle. So hopefully these videos are explained well enough. If you need any clarification for anything, please do not hesitate to ask me. I will gladly clarify or give some pointers as to what might be going on that maybe I could have explained a little bit better. Because sometimes it's one of those things too, when it's something that you've done for so long and done so many times, it may seem straightforward to you, but to somebody who might just be learning or hasn't done a project like this before, it may not be as obvious. So it's not maybe something that's not clear on purpose. It just sometimes I need to perhaps go into a little bit more detail in some areas that may not be as straightforward for somebody because they're still learning and they need a little extra support, and that's fine. All right, so we're going into our last row, last round, and just going to single crochet in each one. And we've got quite a few new subs over the last little bit, so I greatly appreciate if you're still popping back and checking out the videos. I really do appreciate it. I thoroughly love sharing the crocheting experience with everybody, and if you're learning, it is a very relaxing hobby, and some people make it their business, and they do craft fairs and the such. It's a nice, I find it's a very nice way to spend some time, especially if you can get some friends together if they're into it too, and then you can kind of just have a little stitch and bitch, sit and talk about what's going on in your lives and get some projects worked on and see what everybody else is doing. All right, we're getting up to the end here. So still going to be quite a few more videos in this series to do with the teddy bear, because I don't want to have some of them being so long that it can be overwhelming. So I'm going to break it up into quite a number of sections. I'm going to hopefully try to have the assembly be just the one video though. All right, we're coming to the end here. So much like when we did the ear, our last stitch, I'm going to leave a long tail because you're going to need that for sewing onto the head. I'm going to pull out my blue one because we don't need that anymore. I'm going to trim off the original tail from the magic ring. Then I'm going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So hook in, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again. Pull it through and tighten. And there's our muzzle. So again, small little cup, and that magic ring gets that nice and super tight so that you don't have, once you put a little bit of stuff in it, it's not going to show through because you got that sealed up good and tight, okay? So that's the muzzle. So that's going to be it for this video. If you have, like I said, have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And the next video that we're going to be doing, we're going to be working on the arms. And they're a little longer. And so there's 2 arms and 2 legs. So this teddy bear, this version doesn't have a tail on it. So I was just looking there to see if there's a tail. But no, it would be very easy to add a tail on. But it's not necessary. Sometimes they sit better if they don't have one. So anyway, that's the ears and that's the muzzle. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And take care and happy crocheting. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.